then
Yes,
later.
yes, I do have a question.
Yes.
It looks on the bills that have been paid, why do we have a 760.76, two different people getting the same amount?
It's the same thing that happened last time.
Transfer of accounts.
That's transfer of funds for paying the taxes, sales tax off the airport.
Well, Bill, I'm not an accountant, I'm just a dumb biology teacher. And so, but if someone looked at this, that's not an accountant either, that is very confusing, and I'm never going to be satisfied with it.
You're right. It
I am
follows
not ever going to be, and I'm going to bring it up at every
It follows
meeting.
State Board of Accounts though, and that's the thing. It's not how you or I would do it if we constructed it, but this methodology that they use for transferring the funds is prescribed and follows the State Board of Accounts.
Well, are they saying they're taking money out of one account?
Out of the airport account.
If you look at the far left column, yeah, it has that 816 number, the 820 number.
Well, then that should be a minus figure.
It's got to be something, it can't be this.
It can't be a,
It's got to be bracketed or something.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You got to do something with it. Looks to me like if my wife did that on her checkbook, we'd have a little discussion.
Just move it.
Yeah, my only answer is, again, I wouldn't do it that way, and you wouldn't do it that way. That's how the State Board
well,
of
I don't
Accounts
think they
prescribes it.
intend to do it that way. I think they're just not catching it. I think if it's coming out of the City of Greensburg airport account, and then it's being written to the Indiana State Department of Revenue, that the first number should be a minus number, and the second number should be as it is. That's good accounting practice.
Well, it may be good accounting practice, it's just not how the state does it though.
Okay.
It's
Forget
just.
it. But we're
Again,
going
it's
to
not
ask
how-
the question
I'm
every
going to ask the
month.
question every
Yeah.
month.
I guarantee it.
Okay.
Well, see, in looking at it, if one of them was a minus and one wasn't, they'd cancel each other both out.
Oh, no.
Not the way I don't think so, Bill.
There's probably only be
These
one
are
of that
bills to
list.
pay.
That I will do. I'll check this out at home and make sure that the 19045 doesn't include two 760s. Hope it does anyway.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I'm not defending it, I'm just telling you that's just the way it is. I'm not, you know.
But they need to be called to account on it.
I'll talk to them tomorrow, but I'll take the stuff in. Any other questions? Who did this last one?
Yeah.
I got news for you. That's in there twice.
Is it?
You look at the total of $19,045.06. That's $760.76 is counted twice.
They shouldn't. One of them should not even be in there,
You're right.
and not even bracketed. Screwed up because they canceled it.
So we paid the city of Greensburg $760.76, and the Indiana Department of Revenue $760.76.
If we've done that, we've probably done it for the last 2-3 years.
Well, we need to be looking back then and find out if we are. If they owe us some money, we want it back.
We may have some money coming.
Yep. That's it.
From
Okay.
someone.
Anything else? I accept the motion to approve. If that change, I'll take care of it.
Well, I guess the question comes to my mind is how do we change that? Because those amounts are already paid, right?
Or to be paid if we approve it.
So I guess.
Bill, I hesitate to make a motion to accept when I don't accept.
That's my problem. I mean, if that's in there twice, and if we accept that, then we're basically agreeing that that's correct. I I know it's added twice, I just added the whole thing up.
I'll make a motion that we accept it with that exception of the $760.76 on there twice.
Okay, and I'll bring yours to attention tomorrow. Find out how we can get this correct.
Well, I'll second that motion.
And yeah,
Will that include the court reporter bill?
it's separate.
He said he's gonna do that separately.
Okay. Do I have a second?
It's Jim second.
Roll call?
Horace?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then the other one was for the court reporter, $505.
Bill, what fund does that come out of?
It will come out of the airport improvement fund for this reimbursement.
Well, I move that we approve payment of the, what is it, $505 to, whatever the company is, court
Yes.
reporters and more, or something like that.
Dispositions and more.
Depositions and more. I will move that we pay that bill.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Further discussion? Roll call vote.
Roll call Horace?
I'm gonna abstain because I was not on the board when that took place.
You were on the board when this meeting took place.
Yeah.
It was?
You can abstain if you like. This was from the public hearing meeting, the court reporter that was recording everybody's comments,
August 14th.
August 14th.
I'm still gonna abstain.
Okay, Don?
I'm going to abstain also.
Jim?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And yes.
Okay. Moving on, Mr. Manley.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Just a few items. First, I want to just read an article that was written in Business Jet Traveler. It's a magazine article out of a web page. And it's about a lady that come up through the ranks of working in her business life. She is now president and CEO of Elite Aviation, a chartered aircraft management company based in Van Nuys Airport in Southern California. Mrs. Hollifield comes from a humble beginning, having grown up in San Fernando Valley, okay, tongue twister for me. Valley, north of Los Angeles, the daughter of a Spanish housekeeper and a Cuban factory worker. As a single mother, she attended classes at Mission College, a two-year community college. After her stints in fast food business, had a job where he helped place children in foster care, which he quotes as, "I've always liked serving people, so that was a fantastic job for me." Recalling it at St. Anne's Maternity Home for Unwed Mothers, Hollifield worked in an outreach program to schools helping young women understand the challenges of teen pregnancy and how that would affect their lives. A series of increasingly responsible positions followed. And that's just a view of where she came from, and that now that she is in the aviation industry, Elite Aviation. I reached the point in my development companies, which she was a developer of housing development company, that I could no longer afford to be sitting around at airports. I'd have 3 or 4 developments going on at the same time throughout California, and my time was at a premium, so I started flying. on private jets so that I could go to my 3 meetings and be home with my son for dinner. This is just a brief rundown of what her life was and how she got interested in aviation, and then how that makes her business that more valuable. Now for some of the grants that you have in place at this point. We have a grant for acquire land for development reimbursement and rehabilitate runway 1836, which at the last meeting and special meetings you discussed about that and approved the grant, signed. I gave a copy of the grant to Bill for the records, the signed grant, and you will be receiving a state grant as well. That is not here at this point in time. So the request for reimbursement, which is in the land part, which finalizes the cost of the land as we know it today. I had a meeting with your clerk treasurer today just to go over their books to make sure that our grant administration follows what they have as far as what's eligible for reimbursement. We haven't come to terms exactly how much it is yet, so this is not a final request, but this is what we feel is in our books right now the final request. But there might be some other costs lingering that we don't know about that we'll ask for reimbursement. And this request is for $132,917.53. That's the cumulative to date. That brings the total federal share to date of this grant of reimbursement total share, federal share of $119,625. That actually brings a grant program to 46% complete, financially complete, with the other part of it being the overlay project, which we anticipate the overlay project to start sometime the first or the second week in October. We have, in the minutes of the last meeting, I made the recommendation the board accepted and authorized the award to Dave O'Mara Contracting out of North Vernon for the lowest amount. I'm not sure I can remember exactly, but I think it was $114,699. You have to read that from the previous records. That's correct. I'm close to that anyhow. That's correct. So that's the amount that a contract will be signed. What I didn't hear in the minutes of the meeting is that whether or not, I thought I mentioned it, but maybe I was mistaken, whether or not I asked for an authorization for the board to execute the contract. At that point in time, we did not have a contract in place for between the contractor and the board to do the services of doing the overlay. So, being that as it may, I was wondering if the full board would entertain, if it has not happened, entertain a motion to authorize somebody to sign, execute. It would have to be 2 parties, one for an attest, execute a contract for the $114,699 between Dave O'Mara and the airport board.
That's right, because we moved to accept that bid, but then we need a motion to sign and execute the contract.
Yeah, technically an award is a contract in itself. So you've already put yourself on the hook, but it's just a formality of getting a construction contract in place that has some protective parts in it, that they will follow what we have specified in the quote procedure, and that has some protective covenants in there, assurances that they will be repaid, but they will be paid based on the criteria established by you.
So what you're asking is a motion to appoint 2 people to execute the contract. Is that basically what?
Yes.
Well, I would move that the board authorize President Bill Ernstis and Vice President John Newley to execute the contract with Dale Mayer Contracting for the overlay of the runway.
I'll second that.
Any other further discussion on it?
Horace,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John, yes. Motion carries.
Now I'm into another grant that is open at this point in time. It's conduct environmental feasibility study. That grant has some movement of cost because of the hearing process, which we will need to have a copy of the court recorder's invoice so they can incorporate that into the next payment request. This grant at this point in time has a total federal share of $127,995, brings the total financial percentage to complete of 85%, and it also has a state share of $46.91. It brings the total state share to $1,684.15.
Can you say again, please, the state one?
$1,684.15. The hearing transcript was just been received, so I recognize the bill is valid based on the transcript being received. Their work has been completed. We're in the process of compiling all the comments that were received at this point in time up to the date of September the 4th. We'll be getting that document complete here pretty soon to ship on up to the FAA. And that's where we are on at this point in time. The next project is the grant that you have open that we will be closing today, and that is reimbursement for airport acquisition phase 4 and acquire snow removal equipment. A letter has been signed today by your president. It's for requesting the financial closeout of AIP 318-0031-008 as a final pay request number 4. And the summary sheet brings the total pay request for the grant to $527,543.15. That's the federal share, which includes the land, some land reimbursement of $342,108.79, and another is for the Miller equipment that was purchased from them to you for the snow removal equipment of $170,137. That does include the last change order that I reported the last time. I verified that equipment is out there, is ready as spare parts when needed. The quick hitch is probably going to be incorporated onto the equipment so that it can be utilized. And the broom replacement wafers are there sitting in a box when the other ones wear out. So everything is in place to close out physically, and this is the financial part of it. The closeout includes a state and the federal reimbursement request. The federal reimbursement request is federal payment requested of $9,033 for a total federal share to date of $501,166, which is 100% of the total grant amount. We used up the entire budget. So that was a good thing. That also includes a state share of $118.85. brings the total state share to $6,594.29. And that closes out that grant. The last item of discussion is the meeting with the FAA and the state is now completely in place, and Horace and John will be attending that meeting in behalf of the airport and the city to go over review of the process of the federal grant program with the FAA and the state. And that is October 12th. Any questions?
Comments from the board and public? Yes, sir.
Comments, just a question. Would you have the August fuel sales number?
$12,643.19.
Thank you.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.